So obviously you put out the statement, you requested a trade. I'm just curious, why now? Why do you feel like it's time for you to be moving on?
Well, I think it was just a matter of cumulative build-up, how the season went, the kind of instability that we had, leading up to the end of the season, and just felt like I needed to, relax, decompress, take some time, think about it with my family, and allow myself to distance myself from the last game, and after conversations with them, and still feeling the same way about the trajectory of the team, and also after speaking with management about the near future and our success and playoff hopes, I just felt like it was time for a transition.
What are you looking for in your new destination?
Just opportunity to win, contend, and go to the playoffs and make a run at the Super Bowl. Haven't particularly gotten as close as I've wanted, and just want to be out there to display my talent and go out there and bring a trophy home to a city.
Yeah. Last one I'll ask about this. Do you have destinations that you are keeping your eye on? Would like to go to?
I mean, there are multiple contenders right now, and I'm not really hedging my bets on any of them. So I just want an opportunity to go to one of them and take them over the top to elevate them as a team and be a great teammate and a leader. Cool.
I appreciate you saying all that. You're a finalist again for Defensive Player of the Year. I think it's 4 first-team All-Pros in the last 5 years. You have this incredible production when facing double and triple teams. How do you get this production so consistently? What does it take to be always a guy who makes those plays when you have that kind of attention?
The training regimen that we have been on for over a couple weeks already, making sure that staying consistent with my diet, bulking in the cutting, knowing when to step into those explosive exercises, knowing when to peak at the right time. I mean, everything is really broken down into a science and to how to feel my best going into the season. Even when I start hitting bags, whether that's pass rush drills, stepping over bags, running hoops, working hands. So all of that is kind of blocked down and scheduled, and that just leads to me being able to be the best version of myself on Sundays.
The roughing the passer thing, I think, is complicated for guys like you especially. I mean, sometimes these hits, you see them and it's not roughing the passer. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
How frustrating is that as a player whose job is to get to the quarterback?
Well, I'm not quite sure about that one with Houston against the Chiefs. Yeah. That was a tough one. But I mean, the QBs know that they're protected, and there can't be any more eyes than on Patrick Mahomes. So him knowing the rule book, him knowing his ability, his escapability, he's going to use that to his advantage. And that's his right to. If they're going to elevate him as a figure, as a player, he's doing everything to stay up there. Using his natural God-given gifts, but also his intellect to continue to gain yards, keep drives moving. And it definitely makes it difficult as a defensive player, but we have to take our shots.
Do you think the NFL maybe needs to tweak the way that you're calling that a little bit?
Tweak it. I think we just have to be more precise. Whether
defenders, you're saying.
NFL, as in calling it.
Yeah.
I mean, we do as well. There's some times where he's flopping out of bounds, and other times where that you're taking those shots a little bit past the boundary. You have to be very particular. It becomes a little hairy when you get to the edge of the field. So I think both of these things are true. We can continue to improve as defenders when there are talented quarterbacks who can do so. And quarterback the NFL has to be a little bit more consistent with these calls with the quarterback.
Yeah. You've been pretty open in public about your interests off the field. And I think a lot of times media fans, they think of you guys as like
robots.
And you're like the sport defines who you are. But in terms of like the writing poetry and like your interest in science, what does that do for you in terms of like a self-regulation?
Well, it's just who I am.
Yeah.
I mean, football is what I do, and it's a hell of a living. I'm very passionate in doing it. But science and history, photography, traveling, experiencing new cultures, learning new languages. All these things have always been a part of my character, and that's not going to change. So that's just going back to what I usually do, and the man that I've always been. And so it just feels like dialing back or taking off the the hat and the coat when you come back home from work. And you finally get to be yourself.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. We often hear when we ask offensive linemen who the hardest defender to face is, and it's often you. Who is the hardest offensive lineman you had to go against?
Hardest offensive lineman. I'll answer it for this year, and that'll be Jordan Mailata.
Okay.
We had a great matchup. Going into training camp a couple years ago, got the best of him, and I think they took that to heart, and they decided they're going to run the ball a bit more, which pretty consistent with what they did all year. But he's a humongous guy. He's strong. He takes up a lot of space. I feel like that tush push is impossible. I think they should look at that for another thing that they want to look at the end of the year. But he also looked great in pass blocking as well. I mean, he just looked very consistent. He looked very composed. His hands were on point, and very proud of the improvement that he's made from year to year.
Yeah. I want to go back to the science, and I know you like dinosaurs. I've been dying to ask you this. If you could characterize your pass rush as a dinosaur, what dinosaur would you pick?
The first thing that came to mind was Tyrannosaurus Rex from the end of Jurassic Park, with all the little velociraptors hanging on it.
Yeah, but they had those little hands though.
Little hands, but it was eating up double teams and triple teams.
That's right. You're right about that. That's true.